On the one hand, the rich look askance at our continuing poverty. On the other, they warn us against their own methods. My father was a statesman, I am a political woman. My father was a saint, I am not. People tend to forget their duties but remember their rights. You can't shake hands with a clenched fist. Winning or losing of the election is less important than strengthening the country. I think basically I'm lazy, but I have a housewife's mentality when I go about my job. I have already reached out to the janata, and I am only trying to acquaint myself with people's problems. There exists no politician in India daring enough to attempt to explain to the masses that cows can be eaten. Have a bias toward action. Let's see something happen now. You can break that big plan into small steps and take the first step right away. There is not love where there is no will. I am not a person to be pressured by anybody or any nation. I'm certainly not a workaholic. Ability is not always gauged by examination. The environmental problems of developing countries are not the side effects of excessive industrialization but reflect the inadequacy of development. The power to question is the basis of all human progress. This is why we feel that democracy is important. Because democracy allows you to have small explosions and therefore avoid the bigger explosions. All the people who fought for freedom were my heroes. I mean, that was the sort of story I liked reading. Freedom struggles and so on. The people have nothing to fear of me. People have never feared me. Martyrdom does not end something, it only a beginning. Wearing khadi was a badge of honor, it was something one was proud to do. If I see something dirty or untidy, I have to clean it up. One must beware of ministers who can do nothing without money, and those who want to do everything with money. I don't think my father was my mentor. There are grave misgivings that the discussion on ecology may be designed to distract attention from the problems of war and poverty. Happiness is a state of mind, you know. I don't think you are permanently happy. One is happy about certain things and not so happy about others. I was happy to be with my parents. I didn't see very much of them, so I was very happy when my father was there and out of gaol. All my games were political games. I was, like Joan of Arc, perpetually being burned at the stake. My son had nothing to do with policy or decision-making. Nor did I discuss the elections or any other matter with him. I am frequently attacked. Forgiveness is a virtue of the brave. Opportunities are not offered, they must be wrested and worked for, and this calls for perseverance and courage. To be liberated, woman must feel free to be herself, not in rivalry to man but in the context of her own capacity and her personality. You must learn to be still in the midst of activity and vibrantly alive in repose. I cannot understand how anyone can be an Indian and not be proud. The greatest of all contraceptives is affluence. I learned very soon to get along by myself. Whenever you take a step forward, you are bound to disturb something. The meek may one day inherit the earth, but not the headlines. My grandfather once told me that there are two kinds of people, those who do the work, and those who take the credit. He told me to try to be in the first group. There was much less competition there. Popularity is not a guarantee of quality. A nation's strength ultimately consists in what it can do on its own and not in what it can borrow from others. I don't mind if my life goes in the service of the nation. If I die, every drop of my blood will invigorate the nation. Every new experience brings its own maturity and a greater clarity of vision. A nation's strength ultimately consists in what it can do on its own, and not in what it can borrow from others. I do not like carving the world into segments. We are one world. You must learn to be still in the midst of activity and to be vibrantly alive in repose. The purpose of life is to believe, to hope, and to strive. Women sometimes go too far, it's true, but it's only when you go too far that others listen. To become capable, one must have faith in oneself. The collective judgment of the electorate must be respected.